what I think a lot of investors in crypto aren't kind of formulating. They're thinking, okay, BlackRock ETF, it's really bullish, big money coming in. But I think also if you have a recession and the labor market cracks, there's going to be a reduction in leverage being used. There are going to be certain crypto investors who get squeezed on the leverage side and have to unload. If we flip over to the charts here, there's a level, right? So number one, we're trading between this 31 and 30,000 level. And as long as we stay in that zone, then there's essentially a neutral to positive bias that we can break out. So I would say slightly better than 50% that we could actually break out. This is known as a bull flag.
In a recent interview with Paul Barron, the verified investing chief market strategist, technical analyst Gareth Soloway provided his updated price predictions for Bitcoin and several leading alternative cryptocurrencies. Soloway observed that the recent cryptocurrency rally has prompted a bullish signal on the Bitcoin chart, indicating a potential breakout in the near future. This signal, known as a bull flag, is a continuation pattern that occurs after a significant upward price movement, suggesting the possibility of another breakout. Soloway believes the likelihood of an upside rally for Bitcoin currently exceeds 50%. On Thursday, Bitcoin reached a new high for 2023, briefly hitting $31,500 before retracing to slightly above $30,000 per coin. While many attribute this rally to the anticipation of a spot Bitcoin ETF approval, Soloway cautions that there are still several issues that could impede the rally, even if it does materialize as indicated by the chart. He points out the looming threat of a severe recession that hangs over the U.S. economy, explaining that traders and investors are currently driven by excitement and the hype around the spot Bitcoin ETF. However, Soloway believes that this enthusiasm will diminish when people realize an impending recession and recognize that the Federal Reserve may be unable to rescue the markets, as it has done in the past. Additionally, Soloway suggests that there may be larger underlying factors at play with Bitcoin, as it has not experienced a significant breakout compared to other high-risk assets like the Nasdaq. During the interview, Soloway also discusses important price levels to monitor not only for Bitcoin but also for prominent altcoins such as Polygon, Solana, and Avalanche.
So I remain hesitant on Bitcoin, and I'll tell you why. In fact, let me share my screen if that's okay, because I want to show some charts here. So here we have the Bitcoin chart, and if you look at where we were on April 14th of 2023, we were right at this 31,000 marker. And if we zoom out, we can see technically that was a massive level going back to the bull market of 2021, right? So we fell here, then we went up to 65, then we came in and hit it multiple times before going to 69 and then coming back in and finally breaking down. So as long as we kind of stay in this range, I'm skeptical that this is anything but a bear market. And I know people are so bullish on Bitcoin, and long-term I am too, don't get me wrong. I just have been through enough bear markets where it's harder to convince me because I've been burned so many times thinking it's a new bull market in the past that I'm still waiting to see. And the one thing I would point out is, I mean, think about the massive moves in some of these tech stocks, right? So again, just look at the last, since we were up at 31,000 here, think about what technology has done. I mean, we've had weeks where I think the Nasdaq has been up almost every single week since then, yet Bitcoin hasn't broke out. And as a risk asset, why isn't that happening? And to me, that's a concern. Now, if we can break above this 31-ish level and hold, then I think you have some momentum to really have a bigger move up on Bitcoin. But till then, at least for me, I'm just remaining hesitant. So number one, we're trading between this 31 and 30,000 level. And as long as we stay in that zone, then there's essentially a neutral to positive bias that we can break out. So I would say slightly better than 50% that we could actually break out. This is known as a bull flag. If we break below 30,000 and we get below here on a daily closing basis, that starts to concern me. That tells me, okay, there may be trouble here. Now, where would this go? I think the big answer is right with this trend line. So this would be your next stopping point. This perfectly connects through these lows right through here. And that would mean that, again, if you break below 30 and hold there, you're headed down to about 26. 26 breaks, now you're starting to talk about 20,000 again as your target. And eventually, if that breaks, then you're looking at your lows. So for me as a trader, if you're bullish on Bitcoin, it's so imperative right now that you see a breakout. You have to get this thing to go, because a failed bull flag, this is a bull flag, if it fails, that tells you something. That pattern should not fail. It should lead to further upside. And so it tells you that there's bigger money selling into it. And then you have to start watching these pinpoint levels on the way down. So again, those would be my levels at this point in time. And I think for us as technical traders, you just watch this little narrow band right now and look for the price action. There's no doubt that a spot ETF is a positive, or multiple spot ETFs is a positive for the crypto space, especially for Bitcoin. But the question again, too, is I would say, well, how long does it take? Does it take for the SEC to approve it? Because I think investors are piling into Bitcoin thinking it's within a month or two, when in reality, what if it's 6 months? What if it's 12 months? I mean, do investors have the stamina to sit around waiting for it, especially if the stock market starts to decline, if the economy starts to roll over at that point?
In the interview, Soloway also shares his price predictions and insights regarding Polygon, Avalanche, and Solana. He expresses a moderate interest in the Polygon chart, but he enthusiastically describes the Solana chart as his favorite among all cryptocurrencies at present. While Bitcoin and Ethereum maintain their status as the largest and most popular crypto assets, accounting for a combined 69% share of the overall crypto market cap, several other top altcoins exhibit significant potential due to their attractive features and underlying network offerings. However, the regulatory pressure from U.S. regulators in recent months has undermined investor confidence in these projects. Soloway cautions that investing in these crypto assets may carry risks, particularly given the current regulatory environment. Despite the risks, he believes that taking a chance on these assets could be worthwhile. Here are additional excerpts from the interview.
So Polygon is one that I am semi-intrigued by. The big thing for me is so just recently in the last couple of days, we had this nice move up. But if you look at that high from June 22nd, we right up to it. And with Bitcoin's pullback the last 2 days, we've seen this declining as well. So the big thing to me is this upsloping trend line. As long as that holds, you have this wedge pattern that's getting tighter and tighter. And ultimately, if you can get a breakout on Polygon above this downsloping longer term trend line, which goes all the way back to early this year, that would be a big breakout and a potential signal that this has further upside. So right now it's kind of what I would consider in the gray zone, where you're stuck in, and I can even erase this trend line to kind of even make it clearer. So really you have this wedge pattern, and what you're watching for as a technician is, does it break above, let's say, 73 cents? Okay, that's very bullish. But if it breaks below 64 cents, that would then potentially participate or signal a move back down to the lows of 50 cents. And I do want to just point out is that there will be a point where we do get clarity on what it means to be a crypto security, right? What do they have to do? What do they have to reveal? And at some point, the market will look at that when they are regulated and say, this should have an X dollar amount in terms of valuation. And that's the key. Is I think as an investor, if you're a crypto investor, most of your money is Bitcoin and Ethereum. There's no doubt about it. But there is a possibility that 1% of your portfolio could turn into 10% of your portfolio by picking up something like this. Where you take a very limited amount of risk. Where if it goes to zero, okay, it was 1%, no big deal. But it could turn out to be a big return on your investment. So just looking at Avalanche here. So a couple things. So same kind of general chart as what we've seen with Polygon, right? Where you had this earlier move up from late June or so, kind of the 20s, the early 20s of the month. And it just kind of retested that level and kind of backed off. And then same kind of deal here is if you look here, you have this upsloping trend line. So what I like about this chart again is that if you can take out this high and then you have resistance at around 1405, that's your level. So again, as a technician, if it can break above this 1405 level and hold, you've got a lot of potential upside there. And again, the only thing, just a reminder for everyone, is that I don't believe the SEC is done attacking the alts. So again, that would be almost too easy for us. So again, any sort of investment that you decide to make, you have to take into the risk factors of these things. And just remember, the SEC is lurking like a great white shark. Solana is actually one of my favorite charts in the crypto space right now. So again, and by the way, that doesn't guarantee it's going to be a winner. I've been wrong plenty of times before. But what I do like about it is you had this low when we had that big panic, right? You had the big dump out with FTX and then the flush out here. And then it recaptured this level right here at around $14. From that point, we had the bull run up. And then all of this sideways consolidation, which turned out to be a perfect parallel here, down to these lows, and look at where it retested recently, right back to that same level of support. So for me, this is actually, when you get a pattern like this, where you have a sharp move up, and then this is all sideways inside bar consolidation, this is usually the precursor to a breakout. And a breakout on this would take you to this previous level right up here to about $38. So again, there's no guarantees in life. We know that, but I do think that in terms of Solana, I actually like the chart and I like the technology.
In a recent interview with Fox Business, Larry Fink, the chief executive officer of BlackRock, expressed his belief that Bitcoin has the potential to revolutionize the global financial system. This is a significant shift in Fink's perspective, as he was previously known as a critic of cryptocurrencies. Fink now describes Bitcoin as digital gold and an international asset that is not tied to any specific currency. He highlights the concept of tokenization of assets and securities, which he believes Bitcoin represents, as a potential catalyst for transforming the finance industry. Fink suggests that instead of investing in traditional gold as a hedge against inflation or country-specific issues, Bitcoin can serve as an alternative international asset. He acknowledges that the excitement and anticipation surrounding the approval of BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF and similar applications by the SEC will continue to grow in the coming days and weeks. The impact of such approvals on cryptocurrency prices remains a topic for discussion, and Fink invites comments and responses regarding Gareth Soloway's interview in the comments section below. For more Daily Dose crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.